Oh, the choices, choices come. They cry. Got me thinking about where you โอเคสวัสดีครับสวัสดีครับทุกคนครับโอเคได้ยินเสียงอาจารย์ไหมครับ
ได้ยินค่ะ
โอเค good so สำหรับใครที่เข้ามาแล้วนะครับก็ไปพิมพ์ชื่อนามสกุลแล้วก็ ID student เราในแชทบ็อกซ์เลยครับตอนนี้เรามีทั้งหมดประมาณ28-29คนละ27-28อืม เข้ามาแล้วพิมพ์ชื่อนามสกุล ID student นะครับ today class number 4นะฮะเสียงดังฟังชัดนะครับเป็นยังไงบ้างเรียน oral มาสนุกไหมครับไม่มีใครตอบนะครับเงียบ
สนุกค่ะ
ๆสนุกสนานเฮฮานะครับเฮฮาหรือเปล่าไม่น่าใช่แต่ก็โอเคอยู่ใช่ไหมฮะโอเคประมาณนี้นะครับสำหรับใครที่เข้ามาแล้วนะครับอีกครั้งนะครับก็พิมพ์ชื่อนามสกุลนะครับชื่อนามสกุลแล้วก็ ID student นะครับ ตอนนี้มี30 30กว่าคนแล้วโอเคนะครับประมาณนี้ because I have to capture all of your name to check your attendance here alright good shall we start เริ่มเรียนเลยแล้วกันนะครับวันนี้ก็คลาสที่4แล้วนะครับ so today the title oral communication or EI 211 right class number 4 so now we are going to study let's say the name or implication of that name or even identity all right so just because right now we have a different names so sometimes it is necessary to see what value I mean what the purpose of that name or even some culture they have a different names and what is the implication why do we have a different name so this is might be like introduction or even the let's say the question that you are going to study for today. Okay, so some of you may attend in this class. Okay, now we have 30 students here. So I think it's enough for you, right? All right, good. Yeah, so the first one is all about introduction. Why do you have name, right? And I'm going to check your understanding for the first part first. So here now we are going to study about how to speak properly, how to speak, how to use some phrases or even the sentences, right? In that, sentence. So sometimes the sample versions might not be necessary because when it comes to talk. So we just talk what we are thinking about that. It's okay. I'm going to choose you. No, it's not that choose you. Is there any volunteer to read for this slide? Question number 1 and question number 2. มี volunteer ไหมครับ ทั่วไปนะครับฝึกพูดฝึกอ่านนะครับฝึกspeaking
me please
okay ยีนนัฐการ right
Yin
okay
yes
good 1 2 3 go
what is your full name my full name is Masao Nausaru Abdullah but I get called by my nickname which is Chanto. Did your parents choose your names? Yes, my parents did indeed choose my name. As far as I have heard, they discussed with several other family members and then finally my name. Thank you.
finalized okay this one is
Finalized.
finalized okay finalized is
Okay.
means like you make a final decision of that so okay thank you so much right so for this slide it's all about introduction that you are going to talk about name right so name in some culture may have a different right we have like first name okay and then last name but some people or some culture especially in a western country they're gonna have like middle name right so here we can see like this one is the first name right Marshall Nasaru, right? Nasaru, and then Abdullah. Okay, so here we're calling that name is just different, but for Thai people, we're gonna have like just first name and then last name. That's it. Okay, so in terms of grammar and how to use for speaking today, it's all about but I get called by blah blah blah, right? So once we talk about I get called, so you can call me, all right? I get called, or even you can call me. It means that you use the way that other people say or call to you, right? So you can use get called, get plus past participle here. It would be like it would be maybe advanced structure today, right? And then, did your parent choose your name? These questions reflect that it is important that the parent choose your name. So basically, everyone, the name of everyone have to pick up by their parents. Is that right? So here it would be the same. So as far as I have heard, this is very important for you that you can notice here. Okay, I think as far as it means that as far as I concern, okay, or as so far, so you understand that so far, all right. So this cares about several other family members and finalize my name. So here some of you may come up with. It's not that some of you, okay, all of you come up with nickname, right? So some people say you ploy, ฟ้าใส, or things like that. But anyway, this is kind of like reflect the way that we have different name in different culture. Okay. Okay. Is there any volunteer to read out loud for this slide? Me, volunteer.
Me please.
Okay, wait a second. So Dream, what's your name?
Walali.
Raleigh. Good. 1 2 3 go.
Parents in my country usually choose names with good meaning after consulting with their friends and families, which is usually also coincided with a ceremony. I have heard from my mother that she, along with my father, purchased a book on best baby names even before I was born and then shortlisted a few names. After I saw the light in this world, my parents discussed with other family members and then finalized my full name as well as my nickname. Thank you.
Thank you เป็นไงบ้างอ่านยากไหมครับ ไม่ยาก
อ่าน
เนาะ
ไม่ยากค่ะแต่แบบว่าต้องกวาดสายตาตาม
All right, good. Thank you so much. Okay, so question number three. This is how did your parent choose your name? Okay, so when it comes to be asking about this question, what you need to do is that you need to think about the reason why. So, okay, why did your parent choose or pick up that name? Just because it is very meaningful, or it is reflect that the way that you have to start with the first capital letter, one, two, three, things like that. Okay. So here the sample answer would be parents in my country usually should choose names and good meaning. Okay. And after consulting with their friends and family, okay, you need to clarify the meaning of that if you want to speak out for more detail. Okay, which is usually also coincide with ceremony. So okay, here's a reflect some culture. Just because like for a Thai culture, we're gonna have like a name which is reflect that the way you behave properly. Is that right? Or is something that we can pick up from good things like that. Okay, I've heard from my mother, and she, along with my father, purchased a book on best baby names even before I was born, and then shortlist a few names. So, okay, some people may collect some names, which is really important to you to come up with a new name, just because it is very important when we call out. Okay, after I saw delight in this world, my parents discussed with other family members and then finalize my full name as well as my nickname. So here for a Thai context, okay? So we're gonna have like full name, right? For example, like Kitisak, Rachnikon, things like that. So we can call this as a full name. But sometimes in order to briefly call you in easy way, we can come up with nickname. So nickname is very important for Thai culture. That's it. Next slide. Is there any volunteer here?
Me.
Mm-hmm. Shut
Does your
the
name
phone. One, two. Oh, wait a second. Okay, one, two, three, go.
does your name have any special meaning? Yes, my name indeed has a meaning which can be described as the lucky slave of the Almighty Allah. Is your name common or unusual in your country? Yes, I would say that my name is fairly common in my country, a part of the middle part of it.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Okay, so for um for this for this questions, okay, number four, does your name have a special meaning? It means that you need to explain why do you pick this name, okay? Or some people may say that special meaning would be bring something, let's say, good way or opportunistic. Okay, right? Yes, my name indeed has a meaning which can be described in a lucky slab of the amygdala. So this is a score of like the meaning of something, right? But sometimes names in the different culture may have a different meaning, right? And reflection of that name is different interpretations as well. So we have to see a different culture in the different varieties. Okay, right? The question number five: is your name common or unusual in your country? Right. Yes, I would say. Okay, I would say yes. I would say, of course. I would say definitely. I would say yes. I do. Yes, I agree. Things like that. Okay. Yes, I would say that my name is fairly common in my country, apart from a middle part of it. Okay. So great. I think this is kind of a sample version that you can come up with your interview with me later. But maybe today I'm going to do the activity that can make you engage each other. For example, like pair work. And what you need to do is that you have to speak out as much as possible, because this is the chance for you. This is an opportunity to speak read oral communication course. Okay. Next one. Question number 6, is there any volunteer to read out loud for this slide?
Me, please.
Okay, Chat Mongkon. Good. 1, 2, 3, go.
No, I would never change my name primarily because that would create a lot of problems, such as I would need to bring changes on all of my important documents and certificates, which can turn out to be a very lengthy and tricky issue. Besides, it would also create unnecessary problems for my acquaintances in order to identify me. Finally, and most importantly, I love my name and I have been known as your name or surname for my whole life. I would, in fact, never want to change my name.
Great. Thank you so much. Okay, so sometimes for those of you who read out loud, have to carefully read just because you have to concern about how to spell the word correctly or even just scan the text, right? In order to make sure that you read appropriately. Okay, good. Question number 6. If you could change your name, would you? So this one is a kind of like imagination or even the talk about whether it is possible or impossible to do so. Okay. And what you need to do is that you have to give a reason why, just because this is very important for you to make sure that when it comes to talk about the speaking, right? In order to make sure that you are fluent enough, you have to talk as much as possible. This is very important. It's not just is I'm going to ask you for some question and then you just say one word and second word, that's it. It's not that really communications, okay? But I just want you to speak more and more. If it happened for sure, right? No, I would never change my name primarily because that I would create lots of problems, such as I would need to bring changes, right, in all my important documents and certificates, which can turn out to be a very lengthy and tricky issues. So this is the reason why you or why he or she doesn't want to change that name. But anyway, in terms of structure here, you can see like it starts with if conditional sentence. So when you are asking about if conditional sentence, you need to remind that the tenses or structure that you would choose would be the same pattern. I would say I would never change, so I will never change would be possible as well. So, okay, so here the reason is that it is difficult to do the operation or do document or do things like that in official way, right? Because you have to show up, right? You change your name already. You know, let's say like you have some lots of a different issue that you can show up with, you know, different document just because you changed your name. So besides, it would also create unnecessary problems for my acquaintances. Ah, good. This word is very important. In order to identify me, acquaintances is mean that your friends, okay, or your people around you, just because it's likely to be hard if you change your name and then you have to make a clarification or even make them understand that you changed your name just because of a reason why. That's it. And then finally, and most importantly, I love my name and I've been known as blah blah blah. So let's say for me, I'm Jojo, right? Okay, so for my whole life. And I would, in fact, never want to change my name at all. Okay, so here the sample version that we can come up with the question, the possible question in speaking. Just take note and then remind some phrases, some words, or even sentences to improve your speaking. Okay, next question number 7. Is there any volunteer to read out loud?
Me, please.
Okay, good. So you are Papichia, right? Good. One,
Yes.
2, 3, go.
There isn't really any particular custom or convention in my country in choosing the names of babies. Having said that, however, a great many people in my country put their faith on their religious beliefs, which encourages them to choose names with good and noble meanings. Then, of course, there are those in my country who simply pick up the names of famous and successful people when choosing the names of their babies. Finally, there is another group of people in my country who prefer elements of nature around them for the names of their babies. To pick a baby name, people in my country often consult with relatives, friends, and search online for names with their meanings.
All right, great. Thank you so much. Okay, so for this question number 7, how do people in your country generally choose baby name? Okay, so it's kind of like social transformation or social setting. So we call stereotype that we can come up with baby names in different cultures and different contexts. Okay, so the sample version here would be there is not really any particular custom or convention in my country in choosing the names of babies. All right, so here, so you can see here, the sentence here, right? There is not blah 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 until babies is kind of topic sentence that you can come up with you're speaking. Okay, just because this is the detailed discussion, so when it comes to talk about something very detailed or in particular, you need to come up with a topic sentence first. What do you think about that? It would be great for you. Okay, so having said that, however, a great many people in my country put their faith and their religious beliefs when it encourages them to choose names with a good and noble meanings. Okay, so here it means that it reflects the way that people believe, okay, in order to come up with baby names, right? So for Thai culture, we can compare with other cultures. Let's say, if you're going to China, you might have heard that the name is quite different in terms of pronunciation or how to spell it. Okay, but for Thai people or Thai culture, we can say that the name is quite pick up from their English name, for example, like Bird, Tom, right? Things like that. It's okay. And yeah, then of course there are those in my country who simply pick up the names of famous and successful people when choosing the names of their babies. And finally, there is another group of people in my country who prefer elements of nature around them for the names of their baby. Okay, and to pick a baby name, people in my country often consult. Okay, consult what is very important. You should say consult or just like ask for, right? Ask for to their relatives, friends, and search online for name for added meaning. For example, like famous name Sai Fa and Payu, right? So there is a thunder and storm, right? Thunder and then storm. That's it. So it's depend on the situation when we need to come up with the name here. Okay, next question. Question number 8. Is there any volunteer here? Just speak out loud.
Me.
I
ใครดีสักครู่นะครับ So I'm going to choose Gamon Chayas, okay?
Okay.
Okay, Gamon Chaya, 1, 2, 3, go.
How has this trait changed from your grandparents' generation? I don't really think that the trait in choosing baby names has changed in any significant way from my grandparents' generation, except, of course, sometimes we found that some people in my country pick up names of furnace They stay when choosing the name of their babies and do online research before finalizing a name. Another letter irregularity which we not notice in this day in naming the babies in my country is that some people add nicknames which their formal and or official names.
Okay, thank you so much นะครับ How do you feel when you read out loud นะครับขอบคุณนะครับสำหรับทุกคนที่ read out loud ด้วยกันนะ Okay so for this question right how has the trend changed from the grandparents generation so the question asks you to compare between two things and two times okay two generation and two time frames okay so the first generation it would be grandparent and our generation okay and time would be past time and the present time. So look at the sample answer here. I don't really think that the trend in choosing baby names have changed in any significant way from my grandparents' generation, except, or of course, sometimes we find that some people in my country pick up names of foreigners. And these days, when choosing the name of their babies, I do online research before finalize the name. Okay, this is the reason that we can compare between the two. Okay, so you might not have to see this word is really like really wordy for you, but if you want to come up with just a short answer, it would be okay. What I would suggest for you is that you